She said, "He's just my friend. You're overreacting." So I spent the weekend with my ex. Her reaction exposed everything she was hiding. Emily and I had been together nearly 4 years. I'm 30, she's 28. We weren't perfect, but I genuinely thought we had something solid. We shared an apartment, cooked dinner together most nights, went on the occasional weekend trip, and had started talking about engagement last year. I had no doubts, until doubts started creeping in with one name, Ben. Ben was her ex. Not some high school fling, but the guy she lived with before me. When we started dating, she told me they'd split amicably but decided to remain friends and roommates for a while since they were both on the lease. Okay, fair enough. I figured that arrangement would eventually end. But it didn't, not really. Even after we moved in together, Ben was still around. Constantly. They'd hang out and game online, exchange playlists, send each other memes. He'd drop by to cook sometimes, just to use the kitchen he misses, she said. They even shared a Spotify family account. It always rubbed me the wrong way, but whenever I brought it up, she brushed me off. Ben is like a cousin to me now, she'd say with a laugh. You're seriously being paranoid. Don't be that guy. I didn't want to be that guy. The jealous boyfriend. So I stayed quiet. I didn't like it, but I trusted her. Or at least I tried. Then about 2 months ago, out of nowhere, she mentioned she'd be spending a long weekend helping Ben move into a new apartment. He was finally moving out, she said, just needed some help getting set up in his new place. I assumed we'd both go. I mean, if we're all such great friends, why wouldn't I be invited? But no, it was just her. She insisted she'd stay over to help with the move and save on the back and forth driving. It's literally 2 nights. He's got a spare room. I'll be home Sunday night. I asked, why can't I come help? She looked at me like I asked something absurd. Because it's Ben. It's not a big deal. Don't make it into something it's not. I paused, looked at her, and asked her to think how it would look if the roles were reversed. Her reply? You need to trust me. We're just friends. Don't project your insecurities on me. That hit different. She flipped the script so easily, made me the unreasonable one. I didn't push further. I just nodded and said, okay, I understand. But I did start to think. I thought about how many little things I'd overlooked, how often I'd given the benefit of the doubt, and how, in all that time, she never once considered how this dynamic with her ex might affect me. So I made a plan. When her long weekend finally came around, I packed a small bag too. She was leaving Friday morning. I told her I'd be heading out to get some time to myself as well. She barely asked questions, just kissed me goodbye and reminded me to water the plants. What she didn't know was where I was going, or who I'd be with. Hannah and I dated 5 years ago. It ended on good terms, and we stayed in touch occasionally through social media. A few weeks earlier, we reconnected briefly at a friend's barbecue. When I explained the situation with Emily, she offered her guest room anytime I needed space. I took her up on that offer. Not because I wanted to hurt Emily, not out of revenge. I just needed clarity. I needed to remember how a relationship is supposed to feel. Mutual, respectful, honest. And honestly, I didn't expect Emily to care that much. I figured she'd be too busy helping her, just a friend, settle into his new place. But 3 hours after I posted a casual photo of 2 coffee mugs on a balcony, my phone exploded. I didn't post anything dramatic. No selfies, no tags. Just 2 coffee mugs on a balcony table and a quiet sunset behind them. If you didn't know me, it looked like a relaxing weekend retreat. But if you were Emily, you'd recognize that mug. It was mine. And that wasn't our balcony. It didn't take long. Roughly 3 hours after she arrived at Ben's, my phone started lighting up. Emily. WTF. Where are you? Who are you with? You're seriously with your ex right now? This is betrayal. This isn't the same as me and Ben. I read them. I didn't reply right away. I honestly wasn't sure what to say, wasn't sure if I owed her anything more than what she'd given me when I asked questions just a week ago. Eventually, I sent a single message. Me. Just spending time with a friend. Like you did. Don't be insecure. Then I put my phone on airplane mode and let the silence speak for itself. The weekend with Hannah was calming. Nothing romantic happened. We cooked together, talked late into the night, and caught up on old times. I was upfront with her from the beginning. I wasn't looking for anything beyond a quiet place to clear my head. Oddly enough, that weekend helped me understand just how emotionally drained I'd become in my relationship with Emily. I had been walking on eggshells for months, maybe longer, trying not to look jealous, insecure, or controlling. I realized how often I'd buried my own discomfort just to keep the peace. Hannah noticed it, too. Saturday afternoon, she said, "You're so tense even when you talk about her. It's like you're always bracing for an argument." She wasn't wrong. I hadn't even fully admitted to myself how off-balance things had become until I stepped out of it for a bit. I wasn't trying to get back at Emily. I wasn't trying to make her jealous. I just needed space to think. And, honestly, I needed to feel respected again. By Sunday evening, I turned airplane mode off. Dozens of missed messages poured in. Texts, missed calls, a couple of voice notes. One from her crying, another from her angry, then one from a mutual friend saying Emily was freaking out and asking if everything was okay. She had left Ben's early and was already back at our place by the time I returned. I walked through the door and barely had time to drop my bag before she launched into it. "You did this to punish me," she said. "You just wanted to get back at me." I stayed calm. "No, I did exactly what you did." She stared at me. "But it's not the same." "Why?" I asked. "Because Ben and I have history, but it's just platonic now." "And Hannah and I have history," I said, "but it's just platonic now. Or is that only allowed when you say so?" She didn't answer, just stood there. I could see it click in her face, that she'd never actually considered how any of this would feel if the roles were reversed. Her face flushed. She tried to pivot, said I'd planned it to hurt her, that I'd set her up. I told her again, "No, I matched your energy. That's all." And then the real unraveling started. She cried, then yelled, then accused me of cheating, gaslighting, emotionally manipulating her. When that didn't land, she changed tactics, said I'd tested her, and that she passed because nothing happened with Ben. So I had failed for stooping to her level. When I didn't engage, she got louder, called my mom, texted our friends, reached out to Hannah directly. That was her biggest mistake. The message to Hannah came Monday morning. I didn't see it right away. Hannah sent me a screenshot later. It was long, emotional. Emily claimed I had manipulated her, that I cheated on her emotionally, that she deserved to know who she was really dealing with. She painted herself as the victim who had only ever been loyal and misunderstood. Hannah didn't respond privately. She posted her reply publicly. For anyone wondering, he stayed in my guest room. We talked about life. And most of that time, he spoke about how much he loved Emily, until it hit him that he was always second to Ben. I didn't break them up. She did that herself. That post spread fast in our friend circle. Mutual friends started texting me, not to shame me, but to ask if I was okay. Several admitted they'd also felt something was off with how Emily always kept Ben around, how quick she was to invalidate my feelings, how she had a habit of flipping blame when uncomfortable truths were brought up. Then, a message I didn't expect came in. "Ben, bro, I had no idea she still had feelings for me. I thought you guys were solid. I moved out. I don't want any part of this." Turns out, Ben had started dating someone new 6 months ago, a girl named Rachel. Emily knew, but lied about it. She told me he was single, that he didn't want to date right now, and even hinted a few times that he might still have feelings for her. So the entire just helping a friend move weekend? Yeah, it wasn't even that. Ben already had help from his new girlfriend. He told me Emily insisted she still wanted to help set up the place one last time. So he let her. But after things blew up between us, he told her to leave and cut ties. That part hit hard. All that gaslighting, all that manipulation. And for what? Some desperate attempt to keep emotional control? I confronted her with it. Calmly. No yelling. Just laid out what I knew and told her I was done. She tried one last angle, apologized. Said she didn't know why she did it, that she just wanted to feel important, that she felt me pulling away. But I wasn't pulling away. I was trying to hold us together while she kept pressing on the cracks. And now, there was nothing left to hold. A few days later, I packed up and left. She stayed in the apartment for a week before moving back in with her parents. Most of our mutual friends distanced themselves. Not because I asked them to, because they saw the truth laid bare. Emily kept reaching out for a few weeks after. Texts, calls, even emails. Some angry, some apologetic. The last one she sent said, "You destroyed everything over nothing." I replied once, "No, I matched your energy. You just didn't like what you saw in the mirror." And then I blocked her. It's been a few months now. I'm still healing, still learning to speak up early instead of swallowing discomfort. But I've also learned how powerful it is to set boundaries and to walk away when someone refuses to respect them. Sometimes the loudest lesson isn't taught through rage or revenge. It's taught by holding up a mirror and walking away while they try to argue with their own reflection. So what do you think? Was I out of line from matching her energy, or did I simply give her a taste of her own? Would you have handled it differently?